Hey, beautiful souls out there. We're back on for a new Soul Care Life class, and I'm just letting Jayme in. Gonna send you an invitation. Not sure if it's working. Yes, it is.
Oh, hi.
Hey, beautiful soul. Thanks so much for being here, Jayme.
Good to be here. How exciting is this?
It really is. Because just before introducing you fully, would you maybe share with us where you are hopping on from in
Yeah,
the world?
I am hopping on from Virginia, the United States.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And what time is it there?
And so it's 2 p.m. What time is
Yes, amazing.
what there?
It is 8 p.m. here, and we are in the Netherlands. And I am so grateful to, well, to everybody here hopping on, but also to you sharing your precious time with us and, coming on for this new Soul Care Life class. Um, for everybody hopping on this evening and this afternoon, for you there and wherever you are hopping on from and watching this live from. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really happy that you share your precious time with us. And if you have any questions during this live class, feel free to type them in. If we have some time, we'll try and have some time for you answering them. Um, Also, Jaymie has prepared a beautiful exercise for you and for us. So at the end of today's live class, we will make sure to give Jaymie the floor and share this beautiful knowledge of her. And uh, we'll also be doing a talk and I'd love to, I can't wait to kind of give this introduction. If I, what I wanted to share is if you, for some reason, are watching this evening or afternoon, but you have to go, you can always watch it back. We'll save this live class to our social medias and IGTV, and yeah, so you can always come back to it. Just to start off, I would love to let you know that this beautiful woman, Jaymie, J, could you please pronounce your last name so that I can do it right?
Yeah, so in Spanish it's Gerena, so it's Gerena.
Beautiful. Okay, Jaymie Gerena, this beautiful soul is a mindset and business branding coach for female entrepreneurs, and she is on this big mission in life to turn her clients' dreams into realities. And she is the creator of the Ascended Intensive, but also of the Calling You Home Mastermind. And this is for those looking to take their mindset to the next level and also leave with new insight and strategy for their businesses. Now, Jaymie's mission is to, if I miss out on things, please share it after this. But I believe your mission is to really inspire women to live in their own confidence, and this touches my heart. I love your big mission on this earth, and I'm so grateful to kind of may walk with you on this for just a couple of steps. And what I wanted to share is that as I have come to know you in this, well, couple of years with just a minimum of contact, but I've heard a bit of your story, I believe, and I think your personal story is really super inspiring, and how you have retrained your mind for these past years, and also kind of you know stop letting old beliefs or your past kind of hinder your own future dreams, and now help others to do the same thing. It really is mind-blowing, and I have so much respect for you, woman. You're amazing. I think it's beautiful how you help as many women as possible to see their own true potential and their self-worth, and you are a big gift to this planet. And yes, I would love to kind of check in with you. Have I missed out on anything?
No, it was awesome. Thank you so much. You are incredible at just attributing. So thank you. I'm so grateful.
Thanks, dear. Thank you for being here. And tonight's topic is about how to understand your beliefs, and also how to, once understanding them, how to choose to be empowered and live that empowered life, and maybe in a far further stretch of it, really stand in that self-worth and confidence. I think you are the person to share that knowledge with the world. But maybe for everybody watching this, either right now or later, would you maybe share with us a little bit of your road?
So just hi everybody, so nice to connect with all of you here. I'm Jaymie Gerena. I'm a mindset and branding strategist, as you heard, and as fun as life sounds now, right, as much as all of that was incredible, I just have to tell you that we all start somewhere, right? And where I found myself when I started was 6 years ago. And I started with $48 to my name, a single mom, completely lost and truly carrying the weight of just old childhood traumas on my shoulders. And I was at this place where I was extremely burnt out and ready to throw in the towel of life. I've been a child of sexual abuse and mental abuse and physical abuse, and being a fatherless child who had passed away due to drug abuse, and then a couple years later losing my brother to gang violence. I just have to tell you that it is through the trials that you become truly an incredible person, and it just builds character. And so I always tell people that your story isn't your life sentence, right? It's the one that you choose after the trials that defines who you are and your character. And so I just remember feeling like no one understood me, right? We've always had this, always felt this feeling of no one gets me, no one understands me, no one gets what I'm going through. And, just telling myself that this is just life. This is who I am. This is all I'm ever going to be. And it was hard. It was hard for quite a period of time. And I remember my mind would start to spiral all of the reasons why I couldn't be successful and all of the reasons why I couldn't provide. And I'm sure a lot of you who are watching this, hello, I'm sure that you can relate to some of those things as well. And I remember scrolling on social media and having like this little envy, right? You're just scrolling and having this envy of people who just looked to be happy. And I remember being at the lowest place of my life during all of this. And this was, I believe, back in 2015. I just sat on the floor of my apartment, just a wreck, right? This was the first Christmas that my kids were away at their dad's house on holiday. And it was in that moment that I was just on the floor sobbing that I really heard a voice that completely shook me. And it really reminded me of what I didn't remember for the longest time. And it was that if I couldn't find the light, then I had to be it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That beautiful remembrance and that coming home story of, hey, this may feel really hard. It may feel tough, but listen, if you can't find that, it's time for you to be it, right? And after many Google searches, and after much research and much personal development, I went on to read 17 books in a span of about 4.5 months. And I dove into personal development because I was hungry. I was hungry to make the shift. I was hungry to really figure out who I was and dive deep to the core of myself and my self-worth and figure out what was holding me back and get clarity on all of my fears. And it was through all of that that I found my deepest passions. And because of that shift, right? Because of the shift of the personal development and the trusting myself and leaning in and and just belief, right? Belief is what we're going to dive into. But because of the belief and because of making this shift, I've been able to launch multiple businesses, right? Sell out coaching packages, collect over $77,000 of new business in 6 weeks, and be able to give back to 30,000 lives across the world in contribution. And contribution is such a big thing to me because it helps against sex trafficking and being able to provide clean water and shelter and food to thousands of women and children. And, you know, my mission is to help women free themselves of their own limitations, right? Through their own generational limitations that have been placed on them. And so I just have to say, I ask everybody, what would it be worth, right? To have the confidence and the ability to just fully live without the crippling fear being behind you, right? And so if you are in a position to finally have the confidence and the belief in yourself to launch a business or do the thing that scares you or start the relationship, right? Or start the journey to parenthood, whatever it may be, if you have that belief in yourself, then you are truly just untouchable. So there's a little background.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, dear. And you amaze me, and I'm sure you will do that to others. I got goosebumps when you shared where you come from and what you do now, and also the way that you really openly share, also the vulnerable parts that are actually the strength, and you know, being just so honest on the moments that you were sobbing on the floor, all those moments that we all know. And then you said this thing that really kind of hit me. If you can't find that light around you, you have to be it yourself. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's so big. And I really feel that you are that light for sure. And I really, what it does to me is kind of open new roads. But I'm also thinking, okay, yeah, we're about belief today. What I would love to ask you, when it comes to, of course, you shared already a little bit on that background, but when it comes to understanding your own beliefs, and choosing to be empowered, like you just shared a bit of background on it already. What were some of your beliefs, and how, you know, how did you get to that empowerment yourself?
Yeah, what a great question. So for the longest time, my biggest limiting belief, we all have one, right? We all have one super big limiting belief that stems out into all areas of our life. And then it creates little fears and little beliefs, right? But really at the core, there's this one massive belief system that runs every single area of your life. And mine was that I wasn't good enough. So for the longest time, whether it came to parenting, relationships, my own personal development, my business, everything, whenever something would go super well, I would completely sabotage it and I would ruin it because of my belief of me not being good enough. And so to affirm that childhood fear, right, that abandonment, which is where mine came from, to affirm that and confirm that that was like my truth, I unconsciously would do things to sabotage the very things that I was asking for. And so what we don't realize is that we are the driver of whether our lives go good or whether it goes bad. But the most incredible part of this is we have the choice and the capacity to change this if we want to. And we just don't know that we're capable of that. We just think that this is life, right? We don't have this conscious awareness of, oh crap, this is my choice, right? My belief of not being good enough is actually my decision. And I've been deciding to feel this way. And so once you get to a point where you're conscious of that, you get to make the decision to shift those things, which is what we're going to dive into a little bit later on, like how to break down this belief. But the incredible thing is that you guys who are watching, just know that you have the choice to change whatever route or trajectory your life is going in right now. that your belief about yourself or about your self-worth or about anything around you is just your paradigm. It's just a perspective. It's your own reality, right? It's not anybody else's reality. And so you have the choice to change your reality.
Love it. Love it. Thanks so much, yes, for answering that and for sharing your wisdom here. What it really, for me, it touches this part of creating your own reality. It's even further than beliefs. It really is on how you could really rewrite that story of yours or kind of reshape your future fully. Would you be willing to share with us how you have, what have you changed and where, what does your reality look like now and what tools or things have helped you do that?
Yeah, so there's so much, right? So as I shared, we're going to break down all beliefs and how I like to do things is very interactive and all together, right? And so how I'm going to break this down for you guys is I'm actually going to give you the process and the exercise as I'm talking, because I always believe that there's power in structure. And I believe that as I'm talking, there's something really powerful about writing things down. And so look at this as like a workshop session, right? This isn't a talk. This is actually like an interactive training for you to be able to put the things that we're talking about and put it on paper and realize where maybe you're and realize just maybe where you're missing the mark and where you can pivot and where you can lean in. And so I want you to think of the one belief, right? It's loud. It's loud in our heads. It's consistent. It's been a pattern for the longest time, right? It's been a pattern over our lives, over our businesses, over our careers, over our family. And it's just this one thing. And so I invite you on taking a look at those patterns that come up for you. And so for me, mine was loud. I'm not good enough, right? If I didn't put the dishes away the right way and someone called me out about it, like, oh great, I didn't do it good enough, right? Or if I didn't get the work done for the day and I got scowled about it, oh, I didn't do it good enough. I'm not good enough, right? And so what is yours? What is your big belief? And what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think of the first picture that comes to your mind on this belief. And I want you to look at it in detail, right? Is it in color? Is it in black and white? Is it close? Is it far? Does it have a sound? Are you in it, right? Like we don't think that we see a picture, but we feel the picture, we see the picture, right? And so I invite you to take a look at this picture. And what that means is by us taking a look at this picture, if we can shift how this picture makes us feel, and we can allow ourselves to install better feelings around this picture with something that feels more empowering, then we'd be able to change the modalities, right? You'd be able to change the modalities of the feeling that this picture gives you. Okay, we're going to break that down even further in a little bit. But how I change this is the process of looking at the moments that I no longer enjoyed. And I asked myself, how can I change this? Okay, and so first step is I made a massive, scary goal board. Okay, and I wrote down all of my big, massive, hairy, scary, audacious goals, right? And I wrote them all down and I was like, okay, well, I want to leave a legacy for my children. I want to build a multi-million-dollar business. I want to speak on stage. I want to be in the best physical shape ever, right? Just all of this stuff that I'm like, this is so out of reach for me. I don't necessarily believe that I can do it. However, this is one way that you guys know you have to write it down. If you look at somebody else and you feel a little bit of jealousy or you feel a little bit of envy, right, about this person, that of something that they're doing, that means that you believe that you can't have it, but you want it.
Yes.
Okay, write it down.
Yeah.
Down on your big scary goal list, right? So write those things down and take a look at it. And so with this, it's, I also had like starting a business because this was 6 years ago when I started this list, right? And then I dove into who I was and the current values that I had. And I had to ask myself some really honest freaking questions.
Mm.
And that was, am I the person that I need to be in order to obtain these goals?
Yeah.
And the answer was no. Then I either had to throw away that list or start working on myself.
Yes.
Right. And I didn't want to throw away the list because having nice things and being able to travel and having like a beautiful lifestyle and having the mentality that I wanted to have, that looked really nice on paper. That felt really good to look at those things and be like, I would love to be able to travel with my family and be able to hire help, be able to run a successful business, give back, travel the world, do mission trips, right? I wanted all of this stuff. And a part of me saw it too, right? Even if
Yeah.
I think that I was worthy of it, a part of me still saw it and knew that I wanted it, right? And so from there, you begin, once again, you begin to make your list of all of your scary goals. You ask yourself who you need to become in order to achieve those goals, right? And then you ask yourselves what values are in place that match your vision, right? And if maybe your values aren't there, it's time to work on what's important to you, right? What is really the driving factor behind everything that you do,
Mm.
right? And so where like there's so much incredible stuff to that, but that's step one.
Yes. Thanks so much, dear, for sharing this and being so, how do you call that in English? I don't know if concrete is the right word for this, but you make it so tangible, and it's beautiful how you do that. Thank you for sharing that, and also these specific steps. Um, I would before diving into the practice a little bit later. I would love to kind of maybe ask you or open this conversation between the both of us on um, understanding where you were back then, and knowing that you wanted to be that light, wanted to something must have opened up to really understand, okay, my soul really needs care right now, and not only mine but also my kids's. So what helped you to kind of open up to that? Because you've come from a background. I resonate with being a victim of all types of abuse, the ones that you named, all of them. So I really sense this, similar things on our paths, and this big mission in life, and also this big mission to stop violence and sex trafficking. And my question comes from that point or from that thing within that, we are being of service to such big groups in this world, hopefully to many, many more souls. And this is why I believe Soul Care Life class, this is where it was born. And I believe you have this big mission, this big drive yourself. And, when were your wake-up calls in this? You must have had more than just one. Would you open this, please?
What's really interesting is I've always had this feeling of like, I didn't fit in, right?
Mm.
And it's normally the ones who don't fit in who have that mentality to be a little bit different, right? And we go against the grain. We do not fit into the status quo. We are just in our own little world, being the creatives that we are, following our own lane and our own rules. And so I remember being even up till high school, just being that person that people went to seek like counseling. And me, my life was a mess, but I was great at giving advice.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know, but here, try this. And they would go, they would try it, and it would work. And so I found comfort in helping, right? But also knowing that I was different and continuing to search.
Mm.
Because you never felt like you belonged, you allowed yourself to keep searching for a place that you belonged, which then allowed you to get resourceful in your method, right?
Yeah.
And so you kept researching and you kept on trying to figure out what felt like home. And what I found was that through doing all of that research, I wasn't supposed to fit in anywhere. And that's what makes you special.
Mm.
It's your willingness to get resourceful and it's your willingness to dive deep and do the hard stuff and do what the normal people won't do,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to get you to that position to stand out and to honor yourself, right? And so, something that I would recommend you guys is that one, it's okay to not fit in, but two, it's okay to feel what's coming up, right? Because something comes up for us all of the time. But if we're blocking spirit and our intuition from coming in to give us the downloads and we're just like, nope, then we're not going to be able to receive the gifts that we've been asking for.
Mm.
And so, I think we all have beautiful awakenings. And my first one truly was just feeling like I never belonged. And so that was awakening number one for me, right? And then awakening number two was it came after my dad's passing and my brother's passing, when I just realized that, oh crap, no one's going to choose me, I have to choose me. And so I left my hometown in Connecticut and I moved to California. So coast to coast, I just packed one suitcase and I left everything behind. And it was a decision that I was going to lean into who I was and I was going to find myself because I was on a freaking journey, right? I was like, I'm not happy and I got to figure out who I am. So let me just do the work and really dive deep on who this person looks like. And that's really where I decided to officially start choosing myself and following my path. And it's beautiful because as you look at the map of your life, you realize that everything is always happening for you, right? And that even if there are moments where you lose yourself, you're always going to come back home to center. Right? And you're always going to come back to who you truly are. Even if you dive below the line again, you're always going to come back home. And it's having this beautiful understanding that life is an incredible journey of allowing ourselves to quote unquote fail, right? So that we can build a solid foundation so that we can continue to rise and continue to reconnect. And so I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it really does. Thank you so much for opening up in this sense as well, because I believe it's so important for everybody watching this, or even people not watching this or watching it later, but for everybody that resonates with any of these topics and really feeling that there's more out there for you. There's these dreams are not just there in your head. They are meant for you to really live by these pictures that you sometimes are able to see or sometimes able to feel. But also what you just shared, the willingness to really open up and to those downloads, as you said, from spirit coming in, and also just really be willing to feel in order to see that you are actually receiving what you've asked for. I love how you phrased that, because I think that's what it's all about, right? We have all the answers already. They are within us. We just need to open up to it. And when you're willing, like you just shared, when you're willing to be resourceful, willing to listen to those wake-up calls, and really, willing to listen every now and then to the painful parts as well, and really give space to them, it will really help you kind of become aware of those beliefs, but also make a conscious choice afterwards to either stay in the beliefs or make a shift and also replace the beliefs with something else. Would you maybe elaborate on that, or do you have anything else to share on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've all heard the saying, what you focus on grows, right? I feel like everybody in the world has heard that, what you focus on grows. And that's very valid with your belief system, right? And so, like I've shared, my belief for the longest time was that I wasn't enough. And so because that was my belief that trickled out over into every area of my life, I'm sure you can imagine how I consistently felt, how I was consistently speaking, what I focused on, right? Just even like my body language. And so because I chose that belief, my life felt very heavy for a while. But because I made the decision to shift that belief into something that empowered me versus something that pulled me down, my life changed, right? And so how you break that down is into three things. Change what you focus on. Okay. So if you consistently are focusing on something that doesn't feel good enough, or whatever it may be. Oh, I think I lost. Oh, there you are. I thought I lost you for a second. So if you focus on that, then that's going to drag you down. But if you begin to focus on things that empower you, right? Give yourself a memory of something of a moment that helped you feel super empowered, right? Think of that moment and what were you focusing on in that moment? If you can take some of that thought and bring it into the meaning that you've attached to the belief, right? The focus, then you'd be able to change how it feels. Okay? So you've got your focus, and then you have what I like to call your language around it, right? So because I was focusing on not being enough, consistently my language around it was not very empowering, right? So we practice empowering linguistics, right? Quantum linguistics that can reframe the situation. So I'm going to give you guys an example for some context here. Let's say I woke up and I had a bad day because I missed my alarm, right? Instantly, I'd be super stressed out. I missed my alarm. Maybe I had 2 appointments that I was like running late to, or I missed one and I was running late to the other one. I'd be like, well, crap. Here I go again, missing my alarm. It's going to be a crappy day. I'm sure you can feel that like pressure, right? My breathing just got shallow. I'm all tense. I'm like so upset. Can you throw in some kids in there too? So now I got to take care of them before I can get to the work. So now I'm super stressed. I'm focusing on being late. My body language is tense and frustrated, right? My language is I'm late. I'm not gonna do a good job. I suck, right? Like here I go again. So if I decided to change my focus, change my language around the situation, right? And change my physiology around the situation, I could choose something like, oh, I missed my alarm and I woke up late. Maybe my body was telling me I needed that rest, right? Focusing on my body needed that rest.
Yes.
And very much thank them for being patient, or expressing to them, hey, I'm so sorry this call didn't go as planned. Can we reschedule, right? That feels empowering. You're honoring yourself versus giving away your power, right? And that gives you the opportunity to breathe and take a deep breath and say, well, now I learned that maybe I should set 2 alarms. What do I need to learn from this? Maybe I should set 2 alarms versus 1. Maybe I should put my phone further away from the bed so I actually have to get up in the morning versus just hitting snooze, right? Yeah. And so I hope this is helping you guys understand that your belief is just the meaning that you attach to a situation, right? And how you respond is by all of those 3 things, the triad, right? And so you have the opportunity to go from something that is completely disempowering to something that's totally empowering in a matter of seconds, but you have to choose.
Yes. I love it. Thanks so much for sharing that and keeping that space for the choice really is yours. And I love how you give this beautiful, honest example of, first coming from, okay, where did I previously maybe start my day already with this language around my belief, with the belief itself, and with my behavior around it as well. And then, you make it so beautifully tangible to customize it towards the new beliefs, the new language around it, and then the new behavior as well. Just being soft with yourself, allowing the focus to be on what we need as a human being and our rest in this example. It really resonates on many levels, but I won't go there right now. But I love that. Thank you so much for this beautiful example. Would you maybe share something here extra, would you be willing to do that?
Yeah. So a couple of things I want you guys to start asking yourself is, how do I want to feel today? Right?
Mm.
How do I want to feel today? Because I think so many times we're on such autopilot that we go to bed and we wake up and we expect just whatever the world is supposed to give us, right? We expect to just like wake up and go to work, and we get into this autopilot and we get into this like, okay, great, here's my routine. One, I would say, how do you want to feel today? Right? Maybe it started pretty crappy. Maybe you woke up to a text message or an email that didn't feel very good. But how do you want to respond today? Right?
Yes.
You know, and it's really awesome because I have my boyfriend here who's traveled in just a couple of hours just to come and see me for a few days, and he asks me this sometimes too, right? Sometimes I wake up and I'm not like in the best mood. He's like, "Hey, it's your choice. How do you want today to go?" And I'm like, "Thank you for the beautiful reminder." A part of me is like, "Yeah, whatever, dude," but it's like also, thank beautiful reminder, because at the end of the day, this is all a choice. This is up to me. And if I want to have a super amazing day where I'm attracting great things, then I can't hit overwhelm. One of my greatest mentors, Marianne Williamson, she always says, overwhelm is the state of telling the universe you are not ready for the blessings that you've been asking for.
Mm.
And when I heard that, that was like, oof, right? Because there
Yeah.
were times where I was like, I'm overwhelmed. And then I
Mm.
remember and reprogram that and just say, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm actually really excited. And I'm excited because all of these things are happening that is pushing me towards my goal, because here spirit is, and it's asking me, hey, are you ready? Because in order for you to get what's available to you on the other side is if you're willing to go through this crazy like transition, right? And this maybe push season. But the moment you decide that you're overwhelmed and you put your hands up and you take your foot off the gas, that's when universe or the genie on the bottle or whatever you want to say says, your wish is my command. Right?
Yeah.
Your wish is my command. You're overwhelmed. I won't give it to you.
Mm.
You completely block your blessings. And then what happens to your beliefs? Right? Whenever your belief then becomes, whenever I want to do something that's going to be great, I get overwhelmed or it's too much work. Right? But now you can realize, hey, let me focus on this being that pivotal moment that shifts everything for me. Watch your language around that and really decide, no, this is going to happen. This is happening for me. I'm excited because this means that I'm that freaking close, right? I'm so close. All of this is happening. Like, people are coming in left and right. This is a crazy transition. People are falling off. People are joining. There's like, everything's crazy right now. What a blessing.
Mm. Wow, I really love how you touched the part of changing, that maybe the sabotage that happens. Well, it happens to me, of course. I'm human, and also coming from some beliefs myself. My biggest one was um, I think it was I'm not worthy,
Mm-hmm.
um, and having to kind of had the privilege to have a lot of beautiful people helping me on changing my beliefs, and diving into this personal development for years. It really touches this beautiful part that you now share, the exact exercise that somebody can do if they feel they are diving into that overwhelm,
Mm-hmm.
like you just shared, like taking the foot of the gas, or how do you say that?
Yeah.
um,
Yes. Yeah.
and really give into the overwhelm instead of you know stepping on the gas and keep on going, and being grateful for the blessings. And I think I've never heard anybody say it this profoundly. I love it how you share that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful to be on here with you and share with your audience and some of mine. And I'm super, super grateful and blessed to even know you. And it's been a few years coming, right? So
Yes. it is such a special night here then, and of course an afternoon for you there. I would love to maybe check in with you or do a little check out. Like, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us, or some saying or something that is important to you that you think people should hear?
Yeah. I guess in closing, what I would say is if something is coming up for you and it feels scary, but it feels like it's the right thing, listen to it. Because
Mm.
our intuition speaks to us every single day, all day. And sometimes it's just going to be a little poke. Sometimes it's going to be like a little punch. And sometimes it's going to hit you like a Mack truck. We don't want it to hit us like a Mack truck. Okay. So once you start listening to the pokes and you lean into the pokes, you're going to completely watch your life transition for the better because you are in alignment, because you're listening, right? And because
Mm.
yourself.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I would love to kind of ask you if you, where can we find you? Where can everybody find you? And what beautiful word should they look for?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Jaymie Gerena. And then my website's jaymiegerena.com. JaymieGerena.
I love it. Everybody that was on here or that is coming on later after this is going to be saved to our social media channels. Thank you so much for taking the time and for being here with us and for asking your questions or sharing your comments. I've seen some beautiful comments being shared, giving a lot of beautiful compliments from Jasper Fernandez. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jasper. Also saw some people waving and giving some hearts along the way. Thank you so much for doing that and for being here with us. I would love to, you know, make an extra effort to share how beautiful Jaymie's work is, and that you should go and have a look at everything that she does. You're in really good hands when you when you find, well, when you get the chance to work with her. It is amazing, and I would love to kind of point out that in 1.5 weeks, our new Soulful Business Creation Secrets 3-month program is starting. So if you are ready for checking out what that could mean to you and your business, you are welcome to check it in the link in the bio. Maybe, you know, closing off this beautiful session with you all might inspire you. I hope it does. I am sure it has lifted me up all the way. Is there anything else, last words that you might like to share, Jaymie?
Just that I'm so grateful for you, Feline. I'm so grateful. You're an incredible woman. I'm just so glad that we've been able to connect over these years.
Thanks, dear. Same here. I'm really grateful. Thank you for your beautiful compliments, your beautiful words, your hard work, your big mission on this earth, and thank you for you know, letting me be a part of it or walk that road with you and fighting with you for this big mission that we should do together.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I will log off on this live now, and bye.
Bye.